Hi, I'm Rev Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for 43 years. I'm going through the lessons again this year, asking Jesus for clarity, and then I write from that clarity, and that's what I'm sharing with you today. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll look at lesson 211. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. And the review lesson we're looking at is I am the Holy Son of God Himself. In silence and in true humility, I seek God's glory, to behold it in the Son whom He created as myself. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. At some point during the review lessons, I began to wish we were past the review. We had already gone through these ideas thoroughly, and I didn't want to come up with yet another contemplation. But I'm nothing if not persistent, and I recognize this as the ego's voice, so I did it anyway. That was when I started having these truly uncomfortable mornings, waking up with anxiety over one thing or another, and having to sit with spirit to undo them. However, that simple step wasn't as easy as it sounds when I just state the facts. I felt more like struggling to free myself from a sticky web woven of fear. Fortunately, it never lasted long. Then during lesson 209, I began to see more clearly. I realized that these slips into ego were not failures, but simply the next steps forward. I didn't dwell on it too much. There have been so many steps and stumbles over these last 40 years. It felt like just a few more, nothing to worry about. Yesterday, however, felt different. It seems I turned a corner. There was a noticeable shift. I didn't feel like a big, it didn't feel like a big deal while it was happening, but I saw the effects. I had lost a credit card and couldn't find it. The next day, I lost my keys, was late getting to physical therapy. If I didn't find it soon, I would miss my appointment. There were several other potentially upsetting occurrences, and yet I wasn't upset. I simply took the next step and the next. I arrived at physical therapy thinking I was late, but when I looked at the clock, I'd arrived right on time. It reminded me of my past experience of a major shift. Then this morning, I realized that both yesterday and today, I had looked forward to doing the lesson, to seeing what Jesus had for us. A cloud had lifted. I said the lesson aloud, and when I spoke the words, I am the Holy Son of God Himself, I was unexpectedly overcome by strong emotion, and I cried. In silence and in true humility, I was seeking God's glory, to behold it in the Son whom He created as myself. Wow. Now, the reason this is true humility is that the I is not the ego, not the little self known as Myron in this story. And I was not seeking God's glory to behold it in the little self, but in us, capital U, us, the one self He created. When I shift, everyone shifts because we are not separate. We're not talking about one body, which is clearly impossible. And this only proves the point that we could not be bodies since we are one. As often happens when a new shift occurs, the ego pushes back, and I'm given the opportunity to take my newly acquired shift for a test run. I got into a political discussion. Would my sanity hold? Well, yes and no. I noticed I was more interested in being right than being loved, so no. But I also watched the lingering feelings and thoughts and asked Jesus to speak to me. Pretty soon I saw the error. I had failed to ask the helpful question: what does this situation need? Certainly not more judgment, frustration, or guilt. But it's never too late. I offered this unshipped love, compassion, peace, and kindness. So yes, and peace prevails. These little tests are not setbacks. They are confirmations. They give me the chance to choose again. I let my shift become stable. Every moment is another invitation to remember who I am. And every time I say, I am the Holy Son of God Himself, I'm saying it for all of us. Thank you so much for joining me in this reading. I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, then please like it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. And I'll be back soon with another reading. See you then.